My beloved child, do not scroll away from this screen. I am speaking directly into your living room. I am speaking directly into the quiet space where you are sitting right now. I heard the desperate whisper in your heart today. I heard the exact agonizing moment you called yourself a complete disappointment. I felt the heavy crushing weight drop deep inside your chest. You look at the landscape of your life and you think you have failed completely. You measure your entire worth by the mistakes you made yesterday. You think heaven has finally turned its back on your constant struggles. You think I have finally given up on you after so many chances. But I am interrupting your endless digital feed right now. I am stopping your mindless scrolling for a divine reason. I am stepping directly into your personal space. Because heaven sees something entirely different when it looks at your soul. You think you are a relentless burden to the people who tolerate you. You think you have messed up too many vital times to ever be redeemed. You truly believe you are a lost and broken cause. Do not move a single muscle. Stay right here in this sacred moment with me. I am about to show you what I actually see when I look at you. I am about to reveal your true eternal face. The radiant and powerful face you have completely forgotten in the dark. Stay with me for just a brief moment, because what I am about to reveal about your perceived failures will completely change the spiritual battle you are fighting so blindly today. I see you clearly. I see absolutely everything you try to hide. I watch you when the loud noise of the world finally goes quiet. I see how you carry the crushing, impossible weight of the expectations of everyone around you. I see the heavy, suffocating iron armor you force yourself to put on every single morning. You walk out the front door and you pretend everything is perfectly fine. You smile warmly for them. You stand strong and reliable for them. You fix their messy problems while your own inner world feels like it is falling apart. But I see what happens when the bedroom door finally closes. I sit beside you in the dark, isolating silence of your room. I watch you replay every single painful mistake in your racing mind. You mercilessly punish yourself over and over again for things that are already buried in the past. You look in the bathroom mirror and you do not like the tired person looking back at you. You see a cracked mirror reflecting a fractured and inadequate soul. You see only the ugly things you did wrong. You see the faces of the people you think you have let down forever. You feel so incredibly tired deep inside your spirit. It is not just a simple physical tiredness that a long sleep can easily fix. Your physical body is resting, but your anxious mind is running a marathon of pure panic. Your precious soul is entirely depleted and tired. It is a deep and aching exhaustion buried deep inside your very bones. You feel like you are running a brutal race with no finish line in sight. You feel like you are slowly drowning in the middle of a very crowded room. You think nobody notices your silent, burning tears. You think nobody cares about the bitter pain you swallow down every single day. But I count every single one of those sacred tears. I catch them gently in my own hands. I feel the exact devastating moment your fragile heart breaks a little more. You think you are hiding your agony so well from the outside world. You think you have to hold everything together perfectly, or the entire sky will fall down on you. You are so desperately afraid that if you drop the brave act, you will fall apart completely into dust. You tell yourself constantly that you are a massive disappointment to your family. You tell yourself that you are a tragic disappointment to your own potential. And the absolute heaviest burden of all is the dark lie you believe about me. You actually think you are a terrible disappointment to your Creator. You think I am looking down at you from a distant throne of cold anger. You think I am shaking my head in deep disgust at your weakness and your repeated flaws. You think you have finally exhausted all the vast reserves of my grace. You think I have run out of divine patience for your daily messy struggles. My beloved and precious child, You could not be more wrong about my heart for you. I see the invisible, brutal battles you fight every single day just to keep breathing. I see the vicious, relentless demons of doubt you wrestle with in the dark, lonely hours. I see how incredibly hard you try just to survive until the sun finally goes down. You are wearing a thick, heavy mask of fake bravery while you are secretly bleeding out underneath. I see the hidden blood. I see the deep purple bruises on your beautiful, resilient spirit. I see the silent, agonizing screams that never manage to leave your tight throat. I am not a distant, uncaring stranger watching you struggle from a faraway galaxy. I am closer to you right now than the very air filling your tired lungs. I know the exact rapid and terrified frequency of your anxious heartbeat. I know the exact overwhelming and suffocating depth of your secret sorrow. You are fully and completely seen by the eyes of heaven. You are deeply and intimately known by the Maker of the stars. And you are so unconditionally and fiercely loved just exactly as you are right in this messy moment. I deeply want you to hear me very clearly in this exact sacred moment. Listen to the gentle sound of my voice wrapping securely around your broken heart. You absolutely do not have to pretend to be strong with me anymore. You can drop the heavy, suffocating armor right here on the ground. You can let the brave, heavy mask fall away from your tired face. I absolutely do not judge you for your overwhelming and paralyzing exhaustion. I do not condemn you for feeling completely numb and empty toward the world. Your hot, bitter tears do not ever offend my perfect holiness. Your quiet, simmering anger does not push me away from you. Even your darkest, most terrifying doubts do not scare me away. Do not let anyone ever tell you that your deep, crippling tiredness is a shameful lack of faith. Do not let the harsh, religious world tell you that you must always put on a happy and victorious face. You live in a severely broken and hurting world, and it leaves deep, permanent scars. It is perfectly and entirely okay to admit that it hurts so much right now. It is completely okay to say out loud that you cannot carry this massive, crushing weight anymore. You are not failing your divine test just because you are bleeding from the daily battle. You are not a bad or defective person because you feel constantly overwhelmed by life. Your honest human moments of weakness do not disqualify you from my eternal and perfect love. I never created you to be a flawless, unfeeling machine of constant productivity. I created you with a soft and tender and feeling heart. And that beautiful beating heart has been severely battered by the ruthless, unpredictable storms of this life. I see you sitting there wondering in the dark if you have enough strength left for tomorrow. I give you total and complete permission to be incredibly weak right now. I give you permission to stop fighting the heavy tears. I give you permission to rest your heavy, aching head securely on my chest. Stop trying so incredibly hard to earn a love that is already freely yours. Stop trying to prove your absolute worth to me through endless, exhausting striving. You have absolutely nothing to prove to the creator of the entire universe. I do not love a fake and perfect and sanitized version of you. I intensely love the real and messy and complicated you. I deeply love the exhausted and depleted and empty you. I fiercely love the you that feels completely shattered into 1,000 tiny, useless pieces. Your deep emotional pain is entirely valid and recognized. Your intense daily struggle is honored and witnessed in the high halls of heaven. And I am holding a safe and holy space for all of your broken, shattered pieces right here. I am not rushing your delicate healing process. I am quietly sitting in the messy dust right beside you. Do not leave this safe space just yet, because the truth about what your deep scars actually mean will change absolutely everything. Listen to me very carefully right now. I want to completely and permanently change the way you see your deep, unhealed wounds. I want to completely shatter the dark and distorted mirror you have been looking into every single day. You look constantly at your painful past and you see a massive, tragic graveyard of broken dreams. You look back at your stumbling, hesitant steps and you see a long, pathetic history of endless defeat. You look at the relationships that fell apart and you take all the heavy, crushing blame upon yourself. You thought your many mistakes completely disqualified you from my holy and magnificent calling. You thought every single time you fell down to the dirty ground it was a final and permanent failure. You thought your constant daily struggling meant you were fundamentally and hopelessly broken. But you are listening so closely to the toxic and poisonous voice of the enemy. The enemy points a cruel finger at your heavy falls and calls it a shameful and pathetic ending. I point my loving hand at your heavy falls and I call it a glorious and necessary training ground. You are absolutely not a disappointment. You are absolutely not a tragic mistake. You are a fierce and magnificent warrior in the middle of a brutal and agonizing training season. Listen to this profound truth about warriors. A warrior does not ever learn how to fight by sitting safely and comfortably in a warm, quiet room. A warrior learns how to expertly wield a heavy sword by facing terrible and terrifying giants in the dark valley. A warrior builds immense physical muscle and raw power by lifting impossibly heavy weights until their arms shake. You have been lifting the crushing, suffocating weight of the entire world on your very tired shoulders. You have been carrying massive, heavy burdens that were never ever meant for you to carry completely alone. You thought that heavy, invisible weight was going to completely destroy you and crush you into fine dust. You thought it was an unfair and cruel punishment from heaven for your many human flaws and daily sins. But I was actively using that exact heavy weight to forge your soft heart into solid, unbreakable spiritual steel. I am the master blacksmith, and you are my most precious and valuable blade. The intense raging fire you have been walking through is not meant to burn you to ashes. The brutal fire is perfectly designed to burn away all the toxic impurities and the crippling fears. The heavy pounding hammer blows that broke your heart were not meant to completely destroy you. Those heavy blows were intentionally shaping you and sharpening you for the massive battles ahead. Every single time you fell down weeping in the dark and somehow miraculously found the strength to get back up. That was not a pathetic and embarrassing failure. That was a magnificent and glorious victory of your resilient human spirit. Every single time you wanted to completely give up on life, but you bravely chose to breathe for one more day. That was a spectacular and terrifying act of holy defiance against the surrounding suffocating darkness. You look with deep shame at the ugly, jagged scars marking your tired body and your battered emotional soul. You try desperately to hide those painful, sensitive scars from the harsh, judgmental eyes of the outside world. You think those deep, permanent scars are shameful, ugly brands of a pathetic and weak loser. But in the eternal and perfect realm of heaven, we see those things entirely differently. Your deep, jagged scars are absolutely not the shameful marks of a pathetic loser. They are the shining, golden, glorious medals of a brave and relentless survivor. They are the undeniable, permanent proof that the terrifying, raging fire did not completely consume you. They are the beautiful, visible evidence that the massive, raging storm could not completely drown you. I absolutely do not look for perfect, pristine soldiers who have never seen a difficult and bloody battle. I look for rugged and tested warriors who know exactly what it feels like to bleed heavily and still choose to stand up. The very things you loudly call your greatest embarrassing weaknesses are the exact places where my divine strength will shine the absolute brightest. You thought your life was just a sad, pathetic series of terrible, tragic rejections. You thought people coldly walking away from you meant you were entirely unlovable and permanently flawed. But I tell you clearly and loudly today that those painful, tearful rejections were actually my fierce, jealous protection. I was violently and forcefully pulling you away from comfortable earthly tables where you no longer spiritually belonged. I was shutting heavy iron doors right in your face so you would not blindly walk off a dangerous hidden cliff. I was actively removing toxic, draining people from your daily life before they could completely poison your magnificent destiny. You thought I was completely ignoring your desperate crying prayers for an easy, comfortable, and safe life. But I was deliberately and lovingly answering your deepest prayers by slowly making you an unstoppable holy warrior. I am completely reframing your agonizing tears and your sharp pain right now. You are not a broken, discarded, useless toy sitting in the dark corner. You are a finely crafted, magnificent weapon being beautifully sharpened on a very hard and brutal stone of daily adversity. Take a very deep breath right now and listen closely to my specific words. It is absolutely and completely no accident that you are hearing my gentle voice right now in this exact second. Do not ever believe for a single foolish second that a cold, random digital algorithm brought you to this place. Do not ever think it is just a lucky, meaningless coincidence that this specific message found your very tired eyes today. I personally and intentionally orchestrated this exact holy and sacred moment just for you. I deliberately aligned the very stars in the massive sky so you would stop running and finally listen to me today. I saw you slowly reaching the absolute fragile breaking point of your daily physical and mental endurance. I saw you standing dangerously and silently close to the very edge of the dark and terrifying cliff. I knew you were dangerously close to finally surrendering and believing the vicious, loud lies about your absolute worth. You were just about to finally throw your tired hands up and completely surrender to the heavy, suffocating darkness. You were just about to finally accept the painful, toxic label of being a total and complete human disappointment. So I aggressively stepped directly into your chaotic daily path. I suddenly stopped your mindless, desperate scrolling to deliver a crucial, urgent lifeline to your drowning and gasping soul. Your soft, tender heart is finally raw enough and completely ready enough to deeply receive this powerful, holy truth. The divine timing of heaven is always perfectly and flawlessly aligned with your deepest silent needs. I am deliberately meeting you right here at the very painful boundary of your total, terrifying despair. I am intentionally meeting you right here in the messy, chaotic middle of your profound and heavy confusion. You have been desperately and silently begging the quiet, silent sky for a clear and undeniable living sign. You have been crying out loudly in your spirit for just one small, tiny drop of hope to keep your heavy feet moving forward. This very video playing on your bright screen is your clear and undeniable living sign directly from heaven. This is my direct, intimate, and personal answer to your silent, lonely midnight weeping. I brought you safely to this exact digital space at this exact second in human time. I am speaking loudly and clearly right into your heavy spirit because you urgently need to know what is actually happening behind the dark, invisible curtain. You need to pay very close and careful attention to my urgent warning right now. I am strictly warning you out of my deep and fierce protective fatherly love for your precious soul. You are currently standing right in the middle of a massive, terrifying, invisible war, and you are the ultimate magnificent prize. You have been feeling completely overwhelmed and constantly attacked from every single possible direction lately. Every single time you bravely try to take one small positive step forward, something violently pushes you 3 heavy steps backward. Every single time you try to finally find a brief moment of quiet peace, a new, unexpected, brutal storm suddenly erupts in your life. Your tired mind constantly feels like a chaotic, bloody battlefield of loud, competing, and terrifying voices. You honestly think you're just an incredibly unlucky and cursed person. You actually think life is just randomly cruel and universally totally unfair, specifically to you. But you absolutely must understand the deep, invisible spiritual reality of your current painful situation. The vicious dark enemy is actively attacking your fragile mind with absolute brutal fury right now. He is constantly whispering vicious, toxic, and deadly lies directly into your ear, especially when you are the most tired and vulnerable. He is deliberately using the painful, stinging memories of your past human mistakes as sharp, deadly daggers against your soft heart. He constantly and maliciously replays your absolute worst and most embarrassing moments in your mind on an endless, torturous, loud loop. He desperately and aggressively wants you to define your entire core identity entirely by the times you completely and totally failed. He wants you to deeply believe you are a toxic, heavy burden to the precious people you love the absolute most. But do you deeply know exactly why the dark enemy is fighting you so incredibly hard right now in this exact moment? Do you truly know why the invisible attacks have suddenly become so heavy and completely suffocating in this specific earthly season? The enemy absolutely does not ever waste his heavy, deadly ammunition on an empty and totally worthless target. The enemy always fights you the absolute hardest when you are dangerously and beautifully close to your ultimate massive breakthrough. He is absolutely and totally terrified of the magnificent, powerful warrior you are slowly becoming in the silent dark. He is completely terrified of the immense, heavenly, glorious power you will easily carry when you finally realize your true royal worth. The intense, severe level of your current painful spiritual attack is a direct, clear indicator of the massive, glorious size of your holy calling. He is desperately trying to completely distract you with heavy, crushing shame right before your ultimate heavenly blessing finally arrives at your front door. He urgently wants to keep you permanently paralyzed in a tiny, dark, cold prison of endless self-pity and constant, bitter regret. He completely knows that if you ever bravely stand up and fully embrace your royal divine identity, his entire kingdom of darkness will violently tremble and fall. So he aggressively floods your very tired mind with constant, heavy, terrifying noise and brutal, suffocating anxiety. He intentionally wants you to focus entirely and only on your small human physical flaws so you will not ever see my massive, limitless divine grace. He is a vicious, cruel liar and the absolute original father of all toxic lies. He constantly tells you that you are entirely alone and completely abandoned and completely forgotten by the entire host of heaven. He constantly tells you that the heavy, painful, dark patterns of your abusive past will constantly and forever repeat themselves. He constantly tells you that you will always be a profound and deeply tragic disappointment to absolutely everyone around your life. I am forcefully pulling back the dark, heavy spiritual veil right now, so you can see his pathetic and desperate tactics very clearly. Do not ever let him successfully convince you that your current dark, painful struggle is your permanent and final tragic destination. Do not ever let him cleverly trick you into surrendering your glorious, shining crown just because your physical head is currently feeling very heavy. You are currently standing in a dangerous and beautiful transition period between your painful, heavy past and your promised glorious future. The intense, deep tension you constantly feel is the heavy, magnificent stretching of your inner spiritual capacity. The intense, crushing pressure you constantly feel is the necessary birth pains of a magnificent and beautiful new season of your life. He desperately wants you to finally quit right before the heavy iron gates of your blessing finally swing completely open. But listen very closely to me right now, my precious and beautiful child, because what the dark enemy maliciously and cruelly planned for your total and utter absolute destruction, I am about to miraculously and powerfully use as your absolute greatest and most devastating weapon in the coming bright days. I am about to completely flip the entire invisible spiritual battle completely upside down for your glorious victory. I am stepping directly in front of you right now in this exact moment. I am placing my massive and impenetrable shield of divine protection completely around your tired mind. You are absolutely not fighting this massive, terrifying battle entirely alone anymore. I am aggressively and violently standing between your fragile heart and the vicious, cruel lies of the dark enemy. Every single toxic and burning arrow that the enemy shoots at your mind is hitting my solid, unbreakable shield. I am actively blocking the heavy, suffocating waves of deep anxiety that constantly try to drown you in your sleep. I am actively silencing the loud, cruel voices of severe self-hatred that constantly scream in your tired ears. You do not need to constantly defend your own worth and your own honor to the blind world anymore. I am your ultimate fierce and perfect defender in the high heavenly courts. I am currently rearranging the invisible spiritual atmosphere entirely in your total favor. I am forcefully removing the heavy toxic obstacles and the draining people that constantly block your true path. I am clearing a very safe and protected holy space for you to finally catch your breath and rest your weary soul. You can safely lower your heavy defensive weapons right now because I have already taken the absolute hardest blows for you. I see you constantly cowering in the dark corner of your mind, expecting another heavy, brutal blow to fall on your shoulders. You constantly brace your physical body for the next terrible disaster because you falsely think you deserve severe punishment. But I am entirely wrapping my strong and loving arms around your trembling and exhausted human frame. I am whispering profound, absolute peace over the chaotic, rushing storm inside your racing mind. Do not ever fear the sudden loud noises of the enemy because he is completely powerless against my perfect, holy, blazing light. I have officially dispatched my highest and most powerful heavenly angels to closely guard all your waking steps and your vulnerable sleeping hours. The dark, heavy shadows that constantly haunt your painful memories are completely melting away in the bright, blazing fire of my pure presence. You are completely and entirely secure in the deep, unbreakable fortress of my eternal, unconditional love. You can finally let out the long, heavy breath you have been anxiously holding in your tight chest for so many painful years. I am your completely safe hiding place and your ultimate secure refuge when the harsh world becomes entirely too heavy to bear. Your fragile, beating heart is completely safe with me. Your tired, chaotic mind is completely safe under my careful and watchful holy eyes. I want you to make a powerful physical declaration of your new holy freedom right now in this exact moment. I want you to verbally and publicly completely reject the vicious, toxic lies of the dark enemy. Declare this powerful truth with me right now. I am absolutely not my past mistakes. Type the word Amen in the comments below to permanently seal this exact holy truth deep in your resilient spirit. Let that simple, powerful word be a massive, loud battle cry, ringing loudly in the dark, heavenly realms. Whenever the enemy tries to aggressively remind you of your deep past failures, you will firmly remind him of my perfect grace. You are completely and totally safely wrapped in my warm, protective embrace right now, and absolutely nothing can ever snatch you out of my strong hands. Now that you are resting safely, completely behind my massive shield, I want to reveal the glorious promise I have prepared for you. I am actively turning your bloody, messy battlefield into your most magnificent and beautiful eternal blessing. The very deep, agonizing wounds that almost completely broke your spirit will soon become the miraculous testimony that sets thousands of other people entirely free. Your long, painful season of hidden, silent tears is rapidly and permanently coming to a beautiful, holy end. I am absolutely not just going to restore you back to the fragile, broken person you were before the heavy storm hit your life. I am doing something entirely new and completely unprecedented in your precious and beautiful soul. I am rebuilding your broken, cracked foundation with solid, indestructible heavenly gold. I am forging a brand new, majestic and shining armor that is perfectly and specifically tailored to fit your newly strengthened spirit. You are stepping directly into a massive and unprecedented new level of profound spiritual authority and deep emotional clarity. The heavy, heavy doors that were violently slammed in your face are being completely replaced by massive golden gates of total divine favor. You will quickly begin to see the beautiful bright fruit of all your silent, agonizing suffering. Every single lonely night you spent crying out to me in total despair is being deeply rewarded with a massive, overflowing harvest of profound, pure peace. I do not ever waste a single drop of your human pain or a single one of your heavy tears. I am taking the bitter, heavy ashes of your tragic past, and I am painting a glorious and majestic masterpiece of total and absolute redemption. You will soon walk directly into rooms and situations carrying a massive, heavy presence of divine light that completely shifts the entire atmosphere. You will easily carry a deep, profound inner stillness that absolutely nothing in this chaotic, loud world can ever shake or disturb. The heavy, heavy chains of generational trauma and deep historical family pain are completely snapping and breaking completely off your neck right now. You are the designated holy breaker of the toxic deep cycles in your earthly bloodline. You are the chosen resilient survivor who will powerfully lead your future generations into total, absolute, glorious freedom. I am opening the dark, heavy sky to pour out a massive, refreshing rain on your deeply parched and thirsty, tired soul. You will finally drink deeply from the deep, eternal well of true, unconditional, and perfect joy. The heavy, constant feeling of always being a profound disappointment will completely evaporate like morning mist in the hot, blazing sun. You will stand incredibly tall and incredibly firm in the absolute, undeniable knowledge of your supreme royal worth. I am deliberately placing a new, beautiful song of total and absolute victory in your tired mouth. I am giving you the clear, sharp vision to see exactly how beautifully and perfectly I have woven every single messy thread of your life together. Even the terribly dark and ugly threads were absolutely necessary to create the stunning, beautiful tapestry of your grand, divine destiny. I want you to deeply feel the incredible, massive shift happening in your spirit right in this very moment. The heavy, suffocating fog of constant, deep confusion is finally lifting entirely off your brilliant, beautiful mind. I am fully restoring the sharp, bright clarity and the deep, fierce passion that the enemy tried so desperately to steal from your young heart. You will no longer walk through your daily life feeling like a fragile, helpless victim of cruel, random, chaotic circumstances. You will walk with the heavy, solid, undeniable confidence of a fully trained heavenly warrior. The blind people who cruelly mocked your painful struggles and doubted your magnificent potential will stand in total, absolute awe of my glorious work in you. I will powerfully and publicly vindicate your quiet, gentle spirit in the exact same places where you were deeply humiliated and broken. Your loud, beautiful success will absolutely not be measured by the temporary, fragile, cheap wealth of this broken world. Your incredible true success will be measured by the profound, massive ocean of peace resting securely inside your chest. You will sleep deeply and perfectly through the violent, raging storms because you finally know I am the ultimate master of the wind and the high waves. I am completely rewiring your exhausted nervous system to deeply receive my perfect calming rest instead of constant blinding panic. I am completely healing the deep, unseen, silent traumas that constantly make you flinch when people simply try to show you genuine love. You will finally be able to receive deep, pure love without instantly waiting for the heavy, painful shoe to drop on your head. You will finally be able to genuinely trust the beautiful, good things I am intentionally placing directly into your open hands. I am actively removing the heavy, toxic spirit of self-sabotage that makes you constantly destroy your own beautiful blessings out of deep fear. You are stepping fully into a bright, massive, wide-open space of total grace and divine, limitless favor. The painful, agonizing, dark waiting room of your life is finally completely empty, and the massive, heavy doors to your true purpose are swinging wide open. You are rapidly crossing the painful, heavy threshold from merely surviving the brutal days to absolutely and gloriously thriving in my holy light. Hold on tightly to my hand just a little bit longer, my precious warrior. The dark, terrifying night is completely over and the beautiful blazing morning sun is already touching your tired face. But before you can fully walk into this bright and glorious new promised land, you must completely understand exactly who you truly are. You must finally and completely drop the heavy false labels the cruel world has aggressively pasted on you. Because the true glorious name I have secretly written on your resilient heart is going to change the entire trajectory of your earthly life. I am about to reveal your true eternal name to you. I'm about to show you exactly how the highest courts of heaven actually address you when you slowly enter the throne room. Take a deep breath and prepare your heavy heart for the ultimate massive revelation of your true royal divine identity. Listen to my voice very closely right now. I am the Lord of hosts and the creator of the endless universe, and I am speaking your true name into the deepest parts of your soul. You have walked around for so many long, painful years carrying heavy, toxic labels that I never ever gave you. The broken, cold world looked at your struggles and coldly called you a total disappointment. Your own tired, exhausted mind looked at your messy past and brutally called you a tragic, massive failure. You actually believed you were just a useless castaway living entirely on the outer edges of my grace. But I am entirely stripping away those heavy, suffocating false labels right now in this holy moment. I am forcefully pulling off the dirty, heavy rags of immense dark shame you have been wearing every single day. You are absolutely not a disappointment to the high courts of heaven. You are a deeply cherished and highly chosen royal heir to my eternal magnificent kingdom. You are absolutely not defined by the absolute worst and most painful moments of your human life. You are entirely defined by the perfect, precious blood that completely covers all your deep human flaws. I am looking at you right now and I do not see a pathetic, broken loser. I see a magnificent, fierce, and completely tested warrior standing incredibly tall in the spiritual realm. I see a beautiful, resilient survivor who absolutely refused to completely surrender to the suffocating darkness. I am the great I am, and I declare today that you belong entirely and completely to me. You do not belong to your dark, heavy depression. You do not belong to your loud, suffocating daily anxiety. You do not belong to the cruel people who coldly walked away and abandoned you in your deepest pain. You are completely and permanently sealed as my most precious beloved child. Take off the heavy civilian garments of constant fear and endless self-doubt. Put on the magnificent shining mantle of a true heavenly warrior right now. I have personally and carefully equipped you for the exact massive battles you are currently facing. I have personally chosen you out of billions of souls to carry this specific magnificent light into the dark world. I have completely redeemed your darkest, most embarrassing mistakes and turned them into absolute holy power. You are no longer a desperate beggar constantly pleading for a tiny crumb of peace from the universe. You are a rightful royal heir walking fully and confidently in the immense authority of your Creator. I want you to deeply feel the massive, heavy chains of false identity shattering completely around your tired feet. You are finally free from the toxic, crushing expectation to be absolutely perfect all the time. You are finally free from the brutal, heavy burden of trying to constantly earn your basic human worth. Your immense royal worth was permanently settled the exact moment I carefully formed you in the quiet, dark womb. But you cannot fully carry this magnificent, bright new identity if your hands are still tightly clutching your old heavy pain. You cannot wear the beautiful shining armor of a royal warrior if you are still clinging desperately to the heavy rags of your guilt. I am extending a very gentle and holy invitation to your tired soul right now. I am inviting you to completely and totally surrender. I am asking you to intentionally drop the heavy, suffocating armor of your own harsh self-judgment. Your fragile shoulders were never ever meant to carry the massive heavy weight of the entire world. Your tired mind was never designed to constantly solve every single chaotic problem around you. It is an absolute holy privilege to be incredibly weak in my safe and protective presence. You do not have to hold the entire chaotic sky up anymore. I am asking you to gently open your tightly clenched fists right now. Hand over the deep, heavy bitterness you have been carrying toward the people who deeply hurt you. Hand over the massive, terrifying fear that you will constantly keep making the exact same painful mistakes forever. Hand over the loud, vicious voice in your head that constantly tells you that you are not good enough. Give me your absolute, total, exhausting burnout. Give me your complete and utter emotional numbness. Breathe out the heavy, toxic guilt that has been slowly suffocating your beautiful spirit for years. Breathe in my unending, perfect, gentle grace that is completely washing over your tired mind right now. I want you to make a solid physical commitment to this holy surrender right now, before you leave this sacred space. I want you to actively choose to drop the heavy luggage you have been dragging behind you. If you are finally completely ready to drop your heavy armor of guilt and totally rest in my arms, type the words "I surrender" in the comments below. Let those powerful, simple words be the exact moment you finally stop fighting the fierce battle entirely on your own. Type it boldly and feel the massive, crushing weight immediately lift completely off your tired chest. You are officially handing the heavy wheel of your chaotic life back to the absolute perfect master. You have completely surrendered your deep pain, and I have fully given you my perfect, unending peace. I want you to deeply know that I will absolutely not abandon you when you finally close this video. I am going to walk closely and intimately beside you into the absolute hardest parts of your tomorrow. When you wake up and the heavy, loud world tries to immediately drag you back into the dark, chaotic storm, you will immediately feel my strong, invisible hand gently resting on your right shoulder. But this profound, beautiful healing you are experiencing right now is not meant to stop entirely with you. I have a very special and urgent holy mission for you today. My precious warrior, there is another incredibly tired warrior out there right now in the vast, dark world. They are staring blankly at their bright screen, feeling just as utterly broken and deeply disappointed in themselves as you did a few minutes ago. They are silently drowning in their own heavy, suffocating storm, and they think heaven has completely forgotten their name. I am calling you to be my direct holy messenger to them right now. I want you to easily share this exact video with them today. Send this specific message to the exact person I am gently placing in your mind right now. Let them know that the creator of the universe has absolutely not forgotten their hidden silent tears either. By sharing this holy message, you are actively throwing a desperate, massive lifeline to another drowning soul. You are becoming the exact beautiful miracle that someone else is desperately crying out for today. Your heavy, holy work for today is completely and entirely done, my beloved child. You have bravely faced the painful, dark truth, and you have beautifully received my perfect healing grace. You can completely relax your tired neck and your heavy, aching shoulders right now. Close your physical, tired eyes and let the loud, chaotic noise of the world completely fade away into total silence. Let go of every single heavy, brutal battle you fought today. You do not need to figure out the complex, massive problems of tomorrow right now. I am already standing safely and powerfully in the middle of your unknown tomorrow. I have already beautifully and perfectly prepared the safe, bright path for your tired feet. Rest now in my deep, unconditional, and perfect love, my precious, magnificent warrior. Sleep deeply and peacefully in the absolute safety of my strong arms. Perfect, total, eternal peace be heavily upon your beautiful spirit tonight.